Hello, hello. My name is Adjurio Koribe, and I will be your coach and tutor for this course on mastering content creation and mobile video editing. I am super excited, and I hope you are because you are in for a ride. First off, I'm going to start by introducing myself. My name is Adjurio Koribe, and I am a social media strategist and digital marketing professional. Over the years, I specialize in helping individuals or brands leverage the power of content to amplify the value that they have to offer. I run my own social media agency, and one of the things that we do, amongst many other things, is in scaling brands through data driven social media marketing across different industries. And I can tell you for a fact that content plays a key role in how we achieve the kind of results that we achieve for our clients. Now, in this course, we are going to be talking about so many things, but specifically for the first module, this is the first module, we're going to be exploring what content creation is, understanding content goals, and then introducing you to some tools that you can use for content creation. Now, the goal of this module is for you to understand the fundamentals of content creation and its importance in storytelling and branding. Again, content plays a key role in the digital marketing space. So, if you're learning this course, best believe that you will also be introduced to other concepts in digital marketing, and that should not be a problem because, again, my job here is to demystify concepts and to ensure that you understand content creation by the end of this entire course. Again, my name is Adjo Koribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's get right into it. Now, the first question, obviously, is to ask what is content creation? You, in entering into an industry or in trying to explore more about an industry, you want to first of all understand what that industry is about. And content creation, or the creators economy, as we would like to professionally call it, is a massive industry on its own. Again, I'd mentioned earlier that content plays a key role in storytelling and branding, and that is the essence of this particular module. We want to understand the fundamentals. What is content creation? Why content creation? How does content creation play a massive role in the how does content creation play a massive role in the digital space, right? Why is it so important? Now, the way I like to teach is that I like to ensure that I'm breaking concepts into smaller meanings. What do I mean? So before I dive into explaining further what content creation is as displayed on the slide, I would first of all like to define what content is. Now, simply put, content is literally anything you put on the digital space or anything you put online. Content is simply information. It is something that you want people to see, something that you want people to interact with. When you see or define content or you see content as this, what happens is that it takes away the pressure of wanting to overthink the entire process. So for every time you've told Facebook what was on your mind, you've literally put out content. For every time you uploaded an image, whether it's on your WhatsApp status, whether it's on Instagram for fun, whether it's sharing tweets, that is content. Because you put out an information, regardless of the format it came with, it is that you wanted people to interact with that content, with that particular content, or you wanted to pass an information. So basically, content is anything you put out. However, strategic content is the intentional output of information to achieve a certain goal. I'm going to take that again. Strategic content is the intentional output of information to achieve a certain goal. Now, when you want to create content strategically, when you want to create content as a professional, you have to bear in mind that every piece of content you are putting out is for a reason. So, as opposed to just putting content out randomly, you want to think as a professional, how do I put content out strategically to ensure it is achieving the kind of result that I want to see? Now, I'm speaking from the point of as a professional. So, if you're a social media manager, you're always thinking, how do I strategically put out content to achieve my client's overall goals? These are some of the questions you need to be asking yourself, right? If you're a content creator, as many of us would be by the end of this course, you want to ask, how do I intentionally put out content to ensure that it resonates with my target audience and it achieves the kind of result that I want to see? That is what strategic content is. So, while we've been able to define what basic content is, and I've been able to also go further to discuss what strategic content is. Now, what then is content creation? And that is exactly what is displayed on the slide. Content creation is the process of generating topics, ideas, and media that are valuable to your audience. Keyword is valuable to your audience. It can be in various formats, that is text, images, videos, or even interactive elements. It doesn't matter the kind of format your content comes in. The most important thing is this valuable to your audience? Why am I putting out this content? What is the essence of this, right? One of the things that you must come in terms with, and I'm sure you've already realized that, and that is why you are in this class, or that is why you are in this course program currently, is that in today's digital world, content is how brands, businesses, and individuals communicate, engage, and build relationships with their audience. There is no escaping the power of content in our modern world. So it doesn't matter how you the format to which you want to put your content out, whether it is video, whether it is in form of writing, whether it is in form of text. Everybody is putting out content these days in any of this format, but it doesn't really matter, right? The most important thing is you have to know what your content is helping you achieve. So content creation is the process of generating topics, ideas, and media that are valuable to your audience. I've explained what content is, I've explained what strategic content is. Now, content creation is the process. So, content creation is the journey, is the way you are bringing together ideas and creatively putting it out to ensure that it is valuable to your target audience. Now, that we've spoken about content creation, the next thing we want to talk about is what? Video content. And the reason why we are niching down to video content in this course is because of the trends that we've observed. It's also because that is what this course is about, right? Mastering content creation and mobile video editing. So it means that we're going to be talking about content creation from this point of view, video content. So now that we've understand what content is, what strategic content is, and what content creation is, we will now want to talk about video content. Remember, in the previous slides, we've already established that content can come in different forms, whether it is text, images, or videos. But the most important thing is regardless of the different formats it is coming in, the question you want to ensure that you're answering at the end of the day is that is it helping you achieve your overall goals. Like, you have to have an aim as a professional for putting out content. As a professional, you're not just putting out content randomly. As a content creator, you're not just putting out content randomly, right? It has to be strategic. Now, video has become one of the most powerful forms of content in our today's world. It is something that everybody needs to come in terms with. Now, let's say 5 years ago or 10 years ago, this was not the case, right? 5 years or let's say 7 years ago on Instagram, video wasn't necessarily the main thing. It wasn't it wasn't so much prioritized as it is now. What happens is that with the rise of platforms like TikTok, right? Most especially TikTok, I feel like TikTok played a major role in the disruption of the content creation, industry, right? It really caused a major disruption. So with the rise of platforms like TikTok, where short form videos were prioritized, and when people started to see that, oh my god, they actually do enjoy that format, they actually enjoyed watching short videos, and the more that continued, the more it began to shape it began to shape individuals. So when people started interacting more with TikTok videos, people started to see that, oh, they actually do enjoy it, and other platforms started what infusing that into their platforms as well, because it was something that was glaring, it was something that was obvious. People they realized that people enjoy short form videos, or people preferred content in video format. There's something called consumer psychology, right, in marketing, and it is the study of behavioral patterns. You have to know, as an individual or as someone who wants to take content very seriously, you have to be able to one of the things you would have to come in terms with is that consumer behavior is changing always, right? Like I said, 5 to 7 years ago, people didn't really care about video content. All you just needed to do on Facebook was just probably to write. All you just needed to do on Instagram was to post images and then put your write up. But over time, we could see a major shift in consumer behavior. And this platform started saying that it seems to us that these individuals seem to prefer content that are made in video format, and there are many factors that could contribute to that, right? For instance, when you watch a video, you seem to have more it's video content seems to get your attention more than any other forms of content, and you would agree with me with this. With video content, there seems to be some form of immersion. It looks as if, like, it gives you a reality that is closer to talking to someone in person. So you see a video and you're looking into it, it looks as if there's this close interaction. I don't know if some of you can agree with this, or most of us can agree with this, that the way we interact with video content is definitely different from the way we interact with other forms of content. And that is the whole essence, right? So, with platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts dominating the digital space, video content became essential for growth. It became essential for growth because, first of all, these platforms began to prioritize it. First of all, there was a change in consumer behavior. Then, as soon as these platforms realized that, they ensured that they embedded video content and prioritized video content into their platforms as something that they were taking as priority. This in turn now became essential for growth. So it meant that anyone who wanted to create content online has to also have video content as part of their strategy. So videos allow you to connect emotionally. This was what I was trying to explain earlier. They allow you to connect emotionally, showcase personality. And that was what I meant when I said that it gives you a reality of, close interactions. Almost feels as if you know the person. The more you interact with people's videos, the more you feel like you know them even more closely. And also, videos allow you to explain ideas in ways that text alone cannot, right? I mean, text can help you visualize, but with videos, you can actually see. And when it comes to learning, sight is so much important. When it comes to assimilation, sight is so much important. And when it comes to mental engagement, sight is very important. And so, video content has a way of capturing the human mind, has a way of keeping people engaged. And so, if you want to be a content creator, or you want to you want to use your knowledge of content creation to help businesses grow, you have to get comfortable with video content. You have to understand how to, create content with videos that are magnetic, create content with videos that are emotionally appealing, create content with videos that can capture your ideal audience. Now, I want you to do something right about now. Think about the last time you watched a compelling video. What made it engaging? Was it the storytelling, the pace, or the emotions it evoked? That's the impact video can have. So, in all of these, my many words, I want you to also think about the videos you've interacted with online, right? I mean, not every video content is compelling, but you can agree with me that for every video you've watched that was compelling, there were elements in that video that kept you engaged. So you want to think what exactly kept you hooked. That's the impact video can have. Now, the next thing we're going to be talking about is, the importance of storytelling. We're going to be talking about the importance of video storytelling. So, the importance of video storytelling cannot be overemphasized. And why is this so? It is because people connect with stories, not just information. So, when it comes to, you know, using video content, right? Using video content as, as a format for content creation, you have to ensure that the elements that keep your video content engaging, like we already established. And one of those things that keep your content engaging is leveraging storytelling. This is because a lot of times people don't just connect with information, right? Video storytelling is about crafting content that evokes emotions, build connections, and leaves a lasting impression. Now, growing up, I don't know if everybody has this experience, but you know, we all had moments growing up where, we had, should I say Tales by Moonlight? I experienced that, so that is why I'm using that as an example, right? Cool evenings where you would gather around someone and they would offer to share a story. If you had such experience, you would agree with me that in those moments, you could almost feel like you were part of the story. You could feel the emotions, right? Okay, let's not even use that example. Let's use, movies, right? I'm sure some of us watch movies. A lot of us watch movies. When you're watching a movie, what keeps you engaged? It is the storytelling. You're looking at, oh my God, what's going to be the next scene? Oh my God, what's going to be the next line of action? That's all of those build up in your emotions, all of those anticipation is what makes a good video storytelling. So again, video storytelling has a way of leaving a lasting impression. That is why after you watch a good movie, hours even after watching a good movie, you are still pondering, you're still thinking, you still can't get over the fact that, oh my God, that movie was such a masterpiece. So when it comes to video storytelling, you want to ask yourself, how do I leave such a lasting impression in the minds of my viewers, right? And you're not going to be creating content just to say a bunch of words. Like I said, strategic content is ensuring that you are creatively putting out elements into your content that will make people be like, wow, or that will make people stay engaged, or that will make people want to learn more about you, right? So, for example, instead of saying, this product is great. Let's say you are creating a content. Instead of saying this product is great, show how it's changing someone's life. That is how you can use storytelling. So instead of saying, "Oh, get this product is super amazing," how about you use storytelling? How about you say something? You go into, you do a deep dive, right, into how the product has actually changed your life. You can talk about where you were before you start using the product, the process, the journey that you experienced while using this product, and then the transformation that the product brought your way. That is more engaging than just listing out a bunch of things about a particular product. And this is something that we intentionally tell small business owners, right? We let them know that, hey, don't just say come and buy. Don't just put your products out there. You need to share more. You need to talk more, right? About the different things that your product can do in the life of your target audience, right? And you don't say it by just listing a bunch of things. You want to infuse stories that are relatable, so that when people come in contact with your content, they can feel like they can relate. They can feel like they are not coming to read another article or something that probably ChatGPT created. No, they feel like, oh, this person understands me because they're sharing a story that looks like my story, right? So that is the whole idea. So the best content isn't just informative, it is relatable and engaging. You always have to think, how do I make my content relatable and engaging? So instead of listing 5 tips for productivity, how about you show yourself applying them in your day-to-day life? Yes, it takes a lot of work. Yes, it takes a lot of creativity. But by doing so, you are allowing us to be a part of the message you're trying to put out. Like your messaging will have more effect when, instead of just saying things, you are actually showing us. One of the rules of content is show, not tell. That is one of the rules of content. Like effective content, you would read from experts, and as an expert, I'm also trying to let you know that it is way effective for you to show than just talk. Show and tell is the best approach to creating content that is engaging. So again, instead of just this, I mean, listing out a bunch of stuff is good, but if you want to be strategic and if you want your content to have a particular effect, you always have to think, how do I make this more relatable and engaging? And in most cases, showing will do the job than just, talking about, than just putting out a bunch of information. So I hope you understand the essence of what video storytelling is. That video storytelling is that it must leave a lasting impression. Is that you are trying to evoke you're trying to put out content that evoke emotions. You want to build connection. The best content creators online right now are creators who are not ashamed to share parts of their lives, who are not ashamed to, be vulnerable, right? People love vulnerability. That is where we are at right now when it comes to content creation. And of course, we're not saying put your whole life out there, but people just want more authentic stories. People want to witness other people's life. And when you know that people love to witness other people's life, you ask yourself, how can I bring elements of my reality into the content I'm putting out, regardless of the niche? And how can I make it relatable? How can I make it engaging? When it comes to creating content and putting out the details that are either personal or professional details, it's really up to you. You determine how far you want to go, right? But the whole essence is, one, we are not saying put your life out there. We're just simply saying, how can I bring elements in my everyday life, and how can I weave a story around this that can impact my audience positively? And that is what video storytelling is. So the next thing I want to talk about is understanding content goals, right? So, we've talked about a number of things. We've talked about what content is. We've talked about strategic content. We've talked about content creation. We've talked about, video content. We've also explained the power of video storytelling. when it comes to the use of video content as a content format that you want to prioritize in content creation. And then now we want to talk about understanding content goals. Now, I had initially mentioned that when it comes to strategic content, you're intentional about the output of information that you're putting out. Unlike the definition of content that I just gave, which can be a random piece of information or a random image that you post, when it comes to actual, you know, professional content creation that has to do with you desiring a certain form of set design certain form of result, then you need to understand that every piece of content you create must have a goal. And there are four primary goals when it comes to content creation. I want you to take note of this. There's the awareness phase, there's the engagement phase, there's the conversion, and then there's branding. Now, I'm going to explain this in a bit. But these are some of the four primary goals that you have to have in mind when it comes to content creation. Is this content is this content is this piece of content will this piece of content help me in creating more awareness for my brand? Is this piece of content going to solicit engagement? Is this piece of content for conversion, or is this piece of content enabling or empowering my branding? Now, when it comes to awareness, we're talking about reaching new audiences and getting discovered, e.g., viral trends, educational posts, right? So when it comes to creating content, you want to ask yourself that how can I, when it comes to creating awareness forms of content or content that you know help you that helps you gain more traction. Probably you have a goal that you want to reach more people with your content. That is where awareness comes in. So you have to think about how can I strategically create content to enable me get discovered on social media or to enable me get discovered online. So when it comes to awareness content, we're thinking about viral trends. You're thinking about how can I up on a particular trend to ensure that I get more discovered, or how can I put up more educational posts to enable more people to find me, right? And when it comes to creating content for awareness, you need to understand that your content is just one part of it. When it comes to creating brand awareness online, there are other factors such as SEO, search engine optimization, right? And we now have what is called social media SEO as well. So you need to first of all understand that there are other factors beyond your content that will contribute to creating awareness for your brand. But regardless, the kind of content you want to create when it comes to building awareness for your brand is most likely educational posts. It's most likely posts that talk about what you value that you have to offer and how you intend to help your target audience. Educational posts, right? When it comes to creating more awareness for your brand, you want to leverage viral trends. Like in this time and age, people would want to use trending audios, right? There's a professional act to all of this because as much as possible, you don't just want to jump on trends for trend's sake. You want to see how does this align with your mission online or with your mission as a content creator, and how can I use this viral trend to strategically bring people to see the offers that I have or to see the value that I'm trying to amplify. Then the second goal is engagement, right? So let's say that you want to have more engagement. So what you want to think about is what kind of content would I put out that will solicit more engagement? And in most cases, open-ended questions, like putting out content that has open-ended questions, or content that encourages interactions. Like if you follow some content creators, or if you if you see, I'm sure you must have seen content where they deliberately put out some controversial questions or some form of controversial opinions, and you see people battling it out in the comment section. A lot of times those things are done intentionally to solicit that kind of engagement. So like I said, when it comes to creating content, you have to be strategic. That sometimes you can decide that, you know what, I want to put out something. The main aim is so that people would engage in the comments. So I'm going to try and go through the controversial route, or I'm going to put out an opinion that is not commonly held. So, for instance, I can just decide to say something like, contrary to popular opinion, plantain is overrated. Now, I remember saying this one time during one of my sessions, and you need to see how people was like, "What? How can you say plantain is overrated?" Something as simple as that. can just solicit, can just, give rise to engagement, and you'll be shocked and you'll be like, oh my God. Yes, when it comes to when it comes to engagement, you want to put out content that definitely encourage interactions. Not every content, you know, not every content drives engagement. Again, I mean, every form of content drives engagement in some kind of way, but we're talking about engagement that includes comments, conversations, right? Not every kind of content will do that for you. So you have to always ask yourself that, how do I create content, or how do I put out content, whether it's in my opinion, whether it's in me giving a social media commentary on something that is happening. How can I make sure that this, how I say what I say, of course, ethically, how do you say what you want to say to ensure that there are interactions, there are comments? These things are strategic. Sometimes there are just little things you just need to add in your content that when people see, they cannot move past, they want to comment. So these are some of the things that you want to bear in mind when you're creating content for the purpose of engagement. Then the third goal is conversion, right? I strongly believe, especially because I run a social media agency that help brands thrive online, and because I work with businesses, conversion is super important to us. But as a content creator, conversion would look more like, oh, brands want to work with you, or oh, you want to see how, your understanding of content can get clients to help you manage their brand, or to help. No, there are different. Conversion means different things to different people, right? So, but at the tail end of conversion is most likely sales. It's most likely some form of reward for the work you are doing. And if you are doing this professionally, you always need to ask yourself, what does conversion means to me, right? How do I ensure that this is rewarding? You have to have like some form of rewarding metric to ensure that you're not just wasting time, to ensure that you are, you know, you to ensure that whatever you're doing professionally, the kind of content you are putting out intentionally is achieving the kind of results that you want. So when it comes to conversion, we're thinking about turning followers into customers or clients. So most likely the kind of content that would thrive in such situations are testimonials, are feedback, are you know are you the kind of content that could thrive is a content that probably showcase like a step-by-step approach of how you get this done, right? A step-by-step approach of how you get this done. So let's say you sell jewelries, for instance. You're in the jewelry business. You want to probably do a video that shows how you care specifically for the jewels that you sell, or you could probably you know, or you could probably share a story of how the length you go through to ensuring that you get the best for your customers. I mean, when people see that, what you are doing is that you are telling them that if you can go this far for to get this thing done in your business, it means that you care about me, who is about to give you my hard earned money. So, when it comes to content, you have to know that your actions, the things you are displaying inside your content, are subtle messages to your target audience. And that is why you have to be intentional, right? That's why you have to be intentional. I watched a video of someone who, you know, she's a fashion designer, and she did a content of how she goes the chaotic experience she goes through sourcing the right fabrics, and that video has a lot of views. Why? Because she literally showed it was an unfiltered experience. The place she has to travel to just to get the right sort of fabric, and this was her going to China. So you can see how engaging that would feel like, because now people are curious. You mean you go that length? Oh, look at all the things you have to go through. The traveling, the 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 bringing some of these fabrics into Nigeria. It was a whole lot, and you could already see people even advertising with her, and people saying, looking down and saying, "Oh, you know what? We can't wait for you to come back to Nigeria. I'm already ready to buy this, buy that." That is what intentional storytelling would look like, and that is what would also bring conversion ultimately, right? So that is it. So when it comes to creating content for conversion, you're thinking of in terms of that. How do I show things, or how do I put out content that ensures that people that shows why people need to work with me, all right? And then there's branding, right? Your content helps you to establish or position yourself in your industry. The more you share content on the things that you know, the more you are establishing yourself as an authority in that niche. And most times, that is where personal storytelling is. That is where behind the scenes content is. That you are a content creator. I mean, you can show us a day a day in your life of how you create content, for instance. Or you're probably a content creator doing a whole lot of amazing stuff online, and then you've decided to show us your back processes, and then we realize that you don't have so much expensive gadgets, yet you are achieving so much online. That is something interesting. That now makes you more like an authority in that niche. The ability to being able to maximize the tools that you have, right? Even though they are not expensive, to achieve the kind of results you're achieving. I'm just giving random examples, but the whole point is this: is that which content helps you to build. The more you keep talking about a particular topic, or the more you keep talking about certain things, the more you're establishing yourself as an authority. Because guess what? People will start associating the things you talk about with you, and then so that when it works so well that when people think about a particular industry, you come to mind because every day you are showing up with content that's related to that subject matter. So I said here that when creating content, ask yourself, what is the purpose? This ensures your content aligns with your audience needs and business objectives. When creating content, ask yourself, what is the purpose? If there's anything we'll be talking about throughout this session, is how you need to come in terms with the fact that your content has to be as strategic. You need to ensure that you have every content has a goal attached to it. You need to come in terms with the fact that you're not just putting out random content like every other person. You're a content creator. You are putting out content because you want to achieve a certain kind of result. So this ensures your content aligns with your audience needs and your own objectives as well. A very good content strategy is one that has find a rhythm between your audience needs and your objectives. So while you are creating content that resonates with your audience, you're also achieving your objectives as well. That is the whole entire idea of content marketing or content creation. Anything content that is being done professionally has to have the audience in mind and your objectives as well. So, what are some of the tools for content creation, right? When it comes to tools for content creation, you don't need expensive software to create high quality content. I know that this goes against what people think. People think that, oh, I need to have everything figured out. I need to have the expensive gadgets. I need to have this. I need to have that. Again, what makes you an authority in your niche is the ability to be able to maximize what you have to still put out something good. I mean, people will appreciate it more than when you have all of the expensive gadgets and you are not still putting out quality. When it comes to content creation, you want to think in terms of quality. And trust me, quality doesn't necessarily need to get you broke. You can always start from somewhere, right? When it comes to quality in content creation, yes, there's the visual appealing side of things where your video is well edited, or and then there's the environment side of things where you are shooting your content is you know is is amazing, it's fine, it's beautiful, right? It's aesthetically pleasing, right? But then there's also the quality of your messaging. You can have all of that, and if your messaging is not quality enough, trust me, you're losing out. You have lost your audience. Because what's the point of having expensive gadgets, creating content in an aesthetically pleasing environment, but your messaging sucks? So here are some tools for content creation. We have Canva, we have CapCut, and we have InShot. So Canva is best for designing social media graphics, presentations, and posters. I'm sure you would also learn more about graphics in this module as well, right? And then we have CapCut. CapCut is easy to use video editing app with transitions, effects, and captions. We are going to be exploring CapCut in this module as well. And then we'll also touch slightly on InShot, right? InShot is great for quick edits, adding text, just like CapCut, right? But we'll be emphasizing more on CapCut in this module. Regardless, using these are some like if you have these three tools, and these all you just need to do is go to your app store or Google Play Store, and you'll be able to download these tools. And you've already started your content creation journey. When it comes to Canva, you just need to know colors. You just need to know how to balance colors, how to use fonts, and you are good with Canva, right? You need to have some design elements. You need to have like a design brain. Once you know how to mix colors, once you know how to use the right font combinations, it's usually easy, right? Then for CapCut, you need to know how to put your visuals together, how to put visual elements together to come up with something that is visually appealing. That is for tools. That is for tools for content creation, right? So if you're on this call, just know that these three tools, like, these are the basic tools. Honestly, I'm talking about for social media content creation or for content creation. If you can hack how to use these three tools, I mean, there are other tools, but these are the ones I'm recommending for, especially for mobile. Remember, we're talking about mobile video editing, we're talking about mobile content creation, right? These are the best. Now, final words. Content creation is a skill that improves with practice, right? When it comes to content creation, even your content creators, the people you love on social media, it took them consistently putting out content for them to now know what it works. So you have to be willing to experiment, you have to be willing to analyze, you have to keep refining your approach. That sometimes the more you put out content, the more you realize what works and what doesn't work. You and always be quick to experiment. I told you something about consumer psychology, right? You want to tap into your audience mind and see, okay, if I put out this content, let's see what the reactions would be. I'm guessing this is what the reactions would be, but let me put it out and let's see. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to just put out content so that when you put out content fast enough, you will be able to get the necessary feedback you need to reiterate and to refine your approach, right? Understand the power of visuals. Visuals are so important, and that's why we talked about, you know, video storytelling. We talked about, ensuring that you know how to mix and match elements, whether in your videos or your graphics, to be able to attract your target audience. Then align your content with clear goals. I kept on talking about strategic output of information, strategic content, right? I kept talking about intentional content, right? You have to align your content with clear goals, right? You need to know why you're doing what you're doing. If you're in the content creation business, you have to have your own objectives. I told you that a well balanced content strategy is one that aligns audience needs and your personal objectives. Are you creating content because you want to go viral? Just go viral. Are you creating content so that you can have brand endorsements? Are you creating content to whatever your goals are, right? Ensure that the kind of content you're putting out aligns with it. Then use storytelling to create a deeper connection. We talked about the power of storytelling. We talked about how that instead of just sharing information, try to be a bit of try to include a bit of drama. Be dramatic with your content, but in an ethical way, right? Know how much is too much for you to share. Determine what is comfortable with you to share. And most importantly, look at how do I infuse elements in my storytelling that can capture people, right? And then leverage simple yet powerful tools to create content. I know when I was talking about tools for content creation, a lot of you might be wondering that, oh, just Canva, CapCut. And I can tell you that people are making millions every day from these simple tools. If you can hack how to use these simple tools, you are on your way to greatness. I have a friend who made millions in January just by knowing how to utilize CapCut. And these are some of the things we are going to share more as we go further on our journey. Thank you for watching this first module. Definitely, there's going to be an assessment, and you would I would share that in our group how to ensure that that assessment is done. But for now, I hope you're able to gain some practical knowledge on what content creation is, what is content, what is strategic content, what content creation is, you know, video content, how video content became more popular, understanding the power of, video storytelling. Then we're talking about tools for content creation. We're talking about understanding your content goals. We talked about some primary goals you need to establish when it comes to creating content. All of these are super important. I will be seeing you in the next module. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them for me. Thank you.